I couldn't be more pleased with how this turned out. I mean, what I thought was an untenable situation that did not have a solution. It cost me a bunch of money. We didn't have, 10 loads of grain that we just literally could not get rid of. So I couldn't be more happy with how this has turned out. So anyway, Andy just left out with the last load of corn for the day. We got our tractor parts in, so I need to get him back on bush hogging. Plus, the guy that rented our #1 bin, he's needing to get some corn out to fill some contracts, so this will give him a couple days to get his corn out. So anyway, while the loadout bin is filling up for him, let's go check our bin #3 and see what the soybean situation looks like. All right, our lip of the cone has made it to the door, so I see a whole lot of yellow in there, so we're just about to get all the soybeans worked out. Hopefully another couple loads and we'll be down to good clean corn. I tell you what, I couldn't be more pleased with how this turned out. I mean, what I thought was an untenable situation that did not have a solution. It cost me a bunch of money, but still, it wasn't just we didn't have, 10 loads of grain that we just literally could not get rid of. So I couldn't be more happy with how this has turned out. Again, a huge thanks to Tyson Grain for working with me, because I mean, it would have been just, absolute worst case scenario if we showed up with that load of corn and they say, well, we don't want it. And I take the next grainer and they say, well, we don't want it either. What do you do with it then? Now, I'm sure some of y'all saying, well, can't you find a local cattle farmer to buy it for feed? And I thought about that option, but ultimately, cattle farmer really wouldn't give you much of anything for it. They might use it, but they really wouldn't pay you much of anything for it. And cattle farmers that feed grain around here in West Tennessee, there's just not many of them. The cattle operations are definitely dwindling. Most of them are grass-fed, so guys looking to feed them grain. I don't think there would have been a solution at all if Tyson didn't take this, so huge thanks to Tyson. Now, I've been trying to wrap my head around, what I do about my landlords, because, a lot of this corn is on third shares, and I don't want them paying the price for my huge screw-up. So, normally when we pull out of the bins, we don't get the exact number of bushels as what we weighed in, because we dried it some and all that kind of stuff. And normally I figure a percentage to get the true landlord shares. But this year, that's not going to work, because we lost a lot of bushels to dock. So just to ensure that, my landlords are not sharing in the pain of my mistake, how I think I'm going to pay my landlords is, the weights that we weighed into the bins, even though it's greater than what I truly delivered. I believe those are the weights that I'm going to use to pay them on, because it's not right to ask a landlord who they entrust me to take care of their land, be fair, open, and honest, and do the job to the best of my abilities. It's not going to be fair to ask them to share in the cost of my mistake. All right, now we got our loadout bin. The guys hauling that supposed to be here right around 1 o'clock. So now I'll just wait for Andy to get back with an empty truck and then take him to the field, see if we can get a tractor fix. Well, I can be back here by 1 to show them how to load up. All right, made it out here to the tractor and bush hog. Yes, we drove the Razor, even though it's cold, still wet in the fields. I didn't want to bring the service truck across our nice planted wheat fields. Anyway, what we got going on with this tractor, I'll show you the reason why we're running this tractor here in a little bit, but anyway, I had to swap tractors to finish up the bush hogging, and Andy made it, about 300 feet before we sprang a bad hydraulic leak on the remotes. First, this right here blew an O-ring in there, and that's the only place it's coming from. There was one O-ring kit in stock in Brownsville, so we came out here and we fixed it. Cranked it back up, worked the hydraulics. What do you think happened? The bottom remote immediately busted an O-ring. So come to find out, you know, I rebuilt these last spring and stuff, and I don't think I torqued these bolts properly. Didn't get them real good and tight, and anyway, they just kind of vibrated loose. We don't use the remotes all that much, and then when we went to use the remotes on the bush hog, it blew the O-rings. I also didn't put any Loctite on them. So anyway, on this one that we already replaced last week, cleaned out the threads real good, put Loctite on them, tightened them up super good and tight, so it ought to be good. Now we're going to do the same thing with the bottom here. Anyway, you can say, you know, you got an O-ring there, an O-ring there. They're red high heat O-rings. You know, of course, they got to be special ordered, special sizes and whatever. You know, I could just put a regular black O-ring in there, but because of the heat, probably wouldn't last that long. So anyway, we got a kit ordered here. Find us the right ones there, Andy. We'll stick them in. You can't order just the O-rings. You got to order the whole kit. This comes with like 20 different O-rings for the whole valve assembly that we don't need. Yeah. Because we replaced them last spring. It wasn't a little bitty. There was a small one and one a little bit bigger. That's right. All right, got the new O-rings installed. Now we just got to bolt this back up. And we get the Allen wrench. Alright, there, good and tight. Boy, she's a cold-natured beast. Come on, baby. All right, try your hydraulics. That was the one we were just working on. It all looks good and dry. All right, everything looks good. Just
keep it looking like this.
If it tears up, call somebody else. I don't want to hear about it. All right, while we're out in the wheat field, might as well give you a quick look what our wheat crop looks like. Right here, we're in our variety trials. This was the absolute last wheat that we planted. You can see we got the space in between the different plots, but I mean, wheat's off to a great start. I mean, for the most part, we got an excellent stand. There were a few issues in kind of where the water runs on my last round of planting wheat, because we got heavy rains after we got done planting, but probably 98% of the field looks really good, looks like this. So I cannot express how happy I am we got our wheat planted early, because with the way the weather's done in November and then being cold here in December, if I'd had our normally really late planted wheat, the prospects would not be looking good. Of course, it can still come out, but I know the wheat that was planted, you know, that November 12th, November 15th range, it's struggling to come up. I mean, you can just barely see it. Here it is, not too far away from Christmas, and it definitely would have struggled. So I'm super tickled that we got our wheat planted early, because they could pay big dividends this year. But still got a long ways to go, but overall, I'm tickled with the wheat crop so far. All right, now on to the 4440. 4440 looks good from this angle. Well, except for the flat tire. That's new. That wasn't here the other day, but otherwise looks pretty good from this angle, doesn't it? How about from this angle? It don't look quite so good, does it? Yeah, I think we got a problem with this wheel right here. It ain't supposed to be leaning into the dual like that. Come to find out what happened, we got a bunch of these clips that clip around the ring on the rim, and I have no idea how, but some of them went missing. And when that happened, didn't keep tension on the outer ring there, and it slipped off the raised groove that it's supposed to be riding on. So when Andy first sent me the picture, I was like, oh my gosh, what happened? Like, I gotta have a whole new wheel and everything. But luckily, after getting here looking at it, seeing how it's designed, I mean, it's gonna be a very simple fix, maybe not necessarily an easy fix, because, well, we're going to jack it up, we're going to pull this dual off, and then have the front end loader to kind of get this wheel centered, loosen up all the clips that go around there, plus replace the ones that are lost, get the wheel perfectly centered, and then scoot the clips up to engage them and all that kind of stuff. So like I said, relatively simple, but in reality doing it might not be the easiest thing. So I don't know, this is not a high priority. Heck, for as sick as I am with this tractor, heck, for all I know, we might just cut weed around this tractor next spring. We'll get to it when we get to it. We got a lot of other things that are more important to do than getting this tractor fixed and get it back to the shop. It'd definitely be a lot easier if we could do it in the shop, but I don't have a trailer big enough to haul this tractor, so we're just gonna have to do it out here in the field whenever we get a dry day and a relatively warm day to do it in, and we get all our other stuff fixed. So anyway, that's the story on the 4440. So back to the shop, back to the office, got more things to do. All right, finally, Andy's running the field problem free. Got the construction crew at my house situated. The guy that's renting my #1 bin, he's already come and got to 3 loads. That's loaded back up. All of my book work, my billing, my accounting, all my reporting in the office is done. I can finally start, get back to focusing on things I need to get done outside, out here around the shop. And that's primarily getting equipment clean, getting it parked and put away for the winter. Our cotton picker here, I did a whole lot of it, got all the heads and everything, and then Andy got all the back end and up around the engine and everything. And I think it's about 99.5% clean, other than cleaning the cab. We can get the cab later. But just looking around, like behind these hoses and stuff, we got a little bit of dirt there, just like a little bit up there in the corner. Looking back here in the back, there's a little bit of dirt back in here. So probably a good 30-45 minutes with a pressure washer. Have all that washed and ready to park, and then try and get that done this afternoon, and then tomorrow morning get my sprayer unfolded, get it cleaned up. And then after that, we still got combine to clean. We got one of our big tractors clean, got the loader tractor and bush hog clean. Of course, can't do that until Andy gets done. And then last but not least, we got the 4440, but the way she behaved this year, I don't know if she deserves a bath or not. She'll get cleaned up eventually. Also got her service truck to clean up. I mean, it's plumb filthy. Header to clean up. Still a lot to wash on the wash pad, and the weather's not too conducive to washing, but it's probably not going to get any better, so might as well get it done before it gets worse. So get that finished up this afternoon. Start with the sprayer in the morning, hopefully. I tell you what, I finally feel accomplished today. Got our picker done, got our sprayer ready on the wash pad, got my razor washed from the foray out in the field this morning. Got 3 loads of our own corn hauled. We're getting our 6th load loaded on the guy renting from the grain bins. Got our tractor and bush hog fixed. Andy's gotten like 3 farms done. I tell you what, it feels like it's been a good day after the last 2 weeks. Just feel like I hadn't gotten much accomplished. That's really what I hate about this time of year is instead of having one goal inside of like getting harvest done or getting planting done, I mean, we got all these different directions we got to go to get all the things done, and you're kind of bouncing between one thing to another to another. And it really feels like at the end of the day, you just don't get anything done. But once you finally start getting some of that stuff knocked out, you can start focusing on fewer and fewer things. Really feels good to finally get something accomplished today, which we have. Well, I tell you what, I'm about frozen. It's about 35 degrees out here. Been washing the last couple of hours. Don't get me wrong, I ain't complaining. Much rather be frozen than sweating, but I'm about ready to go inside and get warmed up. We'll get started washing early in the morning when it's nice and frosty outside. All right, I've been working on the sprayer all morning. I pretty much got all of the other side of it done. And anyway, wanted to give y'all a little tip. I know I see posted on like Southern Farming and Facebook and other cotton groups all year long. You know, people asking, how can we get the stains off these yellow rims or any other rims, but the John Deere rims are definitely the worst, especially on the sprayers, getting like chlorophyll stains from driving through crops all year long. I mean, it basically just turns wheels completely brown, and let me tell you, that is some tough stuff to come off. I mean, it is hard to come off. I mean, a hot water washer and scrubbing is not going to take it off. At least not all the way. But as you can tell, that one's nice and clean. Yeah, we got some paint missing in places, but overall it is nice and clean. And in years past, the product I've been using is bleach white, BLECHE-white. And just pick it up at Napa and just spray it on there straight, and it does a really good job of taking the stuff off. However, what I found out on my booms, you see all that whitish residue, you know, a lot of that's atrazine mixed with other chemicals we sprayed throughout the year. You can tell it's really bad there. Bleach white doesn't work so well. And then even after pressure washing, which I've pressure washed this back section of boom, no soap or anything, just pressure washing, you can tell it really doesn't pull a whole lot of it off. And like I said, bleach white in the past just did like half a job, not really great. Well, anyway, I found a product that will, it's even better than bleach white about getting this stuff cleaned up. Here's the boom I've already done. And anyway, the product I've been using is Optimum Power Clean, and I just buy it off of Amazon. It's actually made by the same manufacturers that made the ceramic coating that Brian used on my sprayer and other equipment. And let me tell you, this is hands down the best cleaner I've ever used. But anyway, we mix this 1 part Optimum Power Clean to 3 parts water. We put it in our foamer there, then we foam it down real good with a paint dry. You know, if you wet everything down before you foam it down, it'll, you know, it won't be as concentrated. And anyway, just let it sit a couple of minutes, and before it, you know, really starts drying, come in with our hot water washer, and that's what I did. One pass with our hot water washer on it, and I mean, our booms look almost like new. And then again with those cotton stains on the rims, I mean, look how clean that is. Let me see if I can get you a part of an inside part of the rim where I haven't cleaned it yet. You see all that? You know, I really don't care too much for scrubbing myself, and anyway, spraying this stuff on, foaming on, then using a pressure washer, taking it right off, worked really, really well for me. Update on the hauling, they've been coming in and out pretty regularly. The rate they're going, they'll have that 20,000 bushel bin empty tomorrow. Oh yeah, and one other thing about these booms, if y'all remember, I had my booms also ceramic coated when I had my sprayer done, and some of y'all might be wondering about, is a ceramic coating on farm equipment worth it? And in my opinion, it's still, the jury is still out. On cars and trucks, ceramic coating, flat out worth it. I will do it again. But you got to remember, on cars and trucks, you're dealing with a far superior quality of paint than what you are on ag equipment. Ag equipment, doesn't matter if that sucker costs $450,000 new, they're putting the absolute cheapest paint on it possible. And John Deere's booms, within a couple years, you're going to see the paint flaking off and rusting and everything else. You remember, we had our booms sandblasted and repainted with a high quality paint and a clear coat, and they look fantastic 3 years later. And what we're seeing is that on the like the regular part of the sprayer, my tractors and stuff, I mean, I do think it's helping, but it's not a magic fix like I thought it was. I think we're still getting some oxidation of the paint, and it's just mainly, it's not the problem with the ceramic coating, it's the substrate that the ceramic is on. The quality of the paint is just not good quality. Now, if I do a proper 3-step decontamination process on the paint, I can still see the water beading up I can still see the water beading up in a lot of places. However, on our booms right here, after I get done cleaning it with just the power clean, I'm already seeing I'm seeing the water bead back up, which lets me know that the ceramic coating is still there, still active, still still protecting the paint. So my opinion is, when it comes to ceramic coating, it all depends on the quality of your paint. You have good high quality automotive paint, it's a game changer, fantastic, we'll definitely do it again. However, I don't know if I'll use it on ag equipment anymore, just because the quality of paint's not that good. That's not saying anything about Brian and his operation. Brian, the front row detailing, and his son did an absolutely fantastic job of polishing the paint, decontaminating it, getting it to a really high gloss surface. They did an absolutely #1 job. And I think the ceramic coating that they're using is a very good ceramic coating, because on my vehicles, my 2 trucks, Kelly's Durango, still doing a fantastic job. But when you're putting it on ag equipment paint, honestly, I don't think it's worth the money. Well, we are back to hauling grain. Not because we're done bush hogging, because we had a disaster in the field yesterday. So while we wait on get things sorted out, Andy's back hauling grain. The guy renting my bin here, they just got bin cleaned out this morning. So actually it kind of worked out perfectly here. So yeah, anyway, Andy's got like 1 more day of bush hogging left. And so anyway, he got stuck in a ditch yesterday, and Carter went over there to pull him out, pulled out. The tractor would not go into gear. It would not pull at all. Looked all underneath the bottom, maybe got a wiring harness or something caught, because it's acting like it's electronic, not mechanical, and couldn't see anything wrong. And anyway, when I finally got wrapped up with what I had to do last night, I went over there, couldn't figure anything out, came back to get my laptop so I could hook up my diagnostic program to the tractor, find out where we're not getting a signal or whatever. Anyway, booted my laptop up. My screen on my laptop would not come on. Working just fine last time I used it. So anyway, I come and get a monitor off my desktop computer there in the office, and run power from my truck, hooked the monitor up to the laptop, plugged everything up, and then my freaking electronic service tool program would not come up. Of course, it's a bootleg copy, so there's like no support for it. So I was over there like 9:30 last night, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong. I did eliminate the shuttle shift lever as being the issue, and the clutch pedal as being the issue. So my guess is some kind of solenoid on the clutch packs is not energizing, if I had to guess. So anyway, I got a service call in. They're supposed to be out here sometime late this morning or early this afternoon, check out my tractor. So in the meantime, I don't know, we got around 30,000 bushels of corn to haul out of bin number 3. So that's what we're going to work on in the meantime. Hauling grain, washing equipment, and fixing crap that should not be breaking. I know it's supposed to be better to give than to receive, but you know what? I sure wish 2024 would stop giving to me, because I don't much care for its gifts very much. Also this morning had to meet with the county to try and figure out our tax situation, and I guess both good and bad news. Good news is we're doing financially better than probably what we should have, considering the year that we had with massive expenses and low crop yields and low crop prices. We're still turning a profit, but on the flip side, Uncle Sam's going to get a good bit of what little profit we did make this year. So anyways, it is what it is. All right, guys, apologize about the last couple of clips. I forgot to turn my microphone on. But anyway, huge thanks to Kenny H&R for getting me up and going. And I ain't gonna lie, I feel so stupid. I mean, no sooner did I get my camera out to start recording than he had the tractor up and going again. And come to find out what happened, a linkage going to the potentiometer on the clutch pedal had somehow come off, and that's what was holding me up. But anyway, he put his EST program on there, and first fault code popped up was something wrong with the voltage on the clutch potentiometer. So that's where he looked first thing, and that's what it was. And I tell you what, if it hadn't been pitch dark last night and I hadn't been so pissed off about my tractor being broken and then my laptop screen not coming on, and then after getting a display hooked up and everything else, then my EST program would not pull up. I mean, I was so pissed off. You know, I didn't look under the dash, and I should have. If I had, I might have seen the problem and been able to save me a expensive service call. If my EST program had pulled up, I pulled up the same fault code. Bam, that's where the problem is. I could have fixed it, but just another frustration in a long line of frustrations this year. This year can't get over quick enough. But anyway, on the plus side, it was a very easy fix, simple fix, and ultimately is a cheap fix. I mean, all it cost me was a service call, no parts or anything else. So I mean, that's the bright side to it. Just really annoys me that I try to do as much of this stuff as I can. I try to have the tools to do as much of this stuff as I can, and still, so many times I still can't get the job done myself because of various circumstances. Just incredibly aggravating. So anyway, hopefully Andy can make it one more day without anything else tearing up, and we'll be completely done with equipment in the field 2024, and we can put all this stuff under the shed and I don't even have to worry about it or think about it for a little while.